Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from I Don't Work Here Lady. Our first story is by Space Night Life. Elderly woman tries to get me arrested 3 times in a row. I work for a drink vendor in the USA. I go to stores and stock them with beverages from my company. I do not work for the actual store we're taking stock for. This event happened a few months ago while I was stocking a rather small yet local grocery store with drinks. A 70-year-old woman, me, the OP, and the manager are the players of this bizarre event. I'm working the shelves when I see the 70-year-old woman flagging me down. OP: Yes, can I help you with something? Old lady: I can't remember exactly what they asked for, but it wasn't a soda, so I had no clue and told her as such. When I said I didn't know where the item was, she huffed at me. Stop being lazy and find it if you don't know where it is. It's your job to know where everything is. You work here. OP: My eyes went wide as I was currently listening to Reddit stories. I wished to the heavens it was I Don't Work Here, it was entitled Parents, but I realized it was happening. I collected myself and replied the famous line. Ma'am, I don't work here. I work for... Old lady, she cuts me off. You do work here. You're stocking the shelves. Stop being lazy or I'm gonna scream you tried to do something to me and ruin your life. At this moment I went into panic mode, as I have listened to way too many stories to know that will ruin me, even if it's not true, and found out later. I then had a genius idea in that moment. I tapped my earpiece and said aloud, Eric, you hear that? Did you get that? Old lady: Who are you talking to? OP: My friend. We were recording a podcast when you threatened me. He got that on recording, so I advise you to leave now while you can, or it'll be your life that's ruined. Old lady, she huffs and leaves. I thought that was the end of it. Nope, she came back with a manager for the store. Old lady: This is the employee that recorded me without my permission. I want him fired and the police called. OP: Did you tell him why I recorded you? Old lady: It doesn't matter. You didn't have my permission. Manager: What did you record her saying? OP: Lady, you want to tell him, or shall I have him listen to it? Old lady, she sighs. Fine. I said I'd scream. This word rhymes with grape. If he didn't do his job. It worked on so many other employees, I don't see what's wrong with it. Now call the police and fire him. Manager, she looked horrified at the old woman and I started laughing. OP: You heard her, right? I said to the manager, who confirmed, then I grinned and said, Ma'am, I didn't record you. I was listening to podcasts. Old lady, she gets red and without missing a beat, looked at the manager and said, and I'm not joking, said, He tried to grape me. Call the police. OP, my mouth drops as the manager had no clue what to say. Luckily, I did. Ma'am, you wouldn't know this, but I've been on hormones for the last 2 years. I don't know how I could do that to anyone. I haven't been able to in like 2 years. The manager ends up laughing her butt off and the old woman just left. Never saw her again. The manager apologized and I was just laughing so hard that worked. If it didn't, who knows where I'd be? Probably locked up with my life ruined because I didn't know where something was. Women that use this kind of terminology or accuse somebody of doing something like this are literally the scum of the earth. No joke, the scum of the earth. If you're faking it and saying somebody assaulted you in this way and it didn't happen, or you're using it just to get them in trouble because you can, you're the scum of the earth. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. This woman is insane. She ruins lives, gets away with it, and just is allowed to be in society. She should be in prison for the remainder of her life for this kind of crap. Our next story is by Undying Artist. You're right. I'm the dumbest person on the planet. Thanks. I'm a 20-something book-enjoying coffee drinker, so naturally I go where other people, like me, go. My local bookstore. I'm not there frequently enough that I get recognized, but I'll do some window shopping and have a coffee every so often. They did some reorganizing a while back and a bunch of sections got moved around. And from that came this lovely encounter. I'm browsing the new arrival displays, drinking my latte, and an older lady taps my shoulder and asks me to point her towards the romance section. I have no idea where the romance section went, but I don't see an employee to send her to, and it really isn't that big of an inconvenience to give it a shot. I start my answer with, I don't know, but she interrupts me. She says it's really unprofessional that I don't know where anything is. Huh? She goes on a tirade about how dumb I must be not to know where anything is, and what was the point of reorganizing the whole place if I can't even remember where things got moved. I did question at first if she thought I worked there, but I had dismissed the idea because surely she couldn't be that dense. Folks, I was in a skirt and heels. I had a basket of books and a coffee. I was carrying a purse. I couldn't have looked less like an employee if I tried. I told her as much, and she just got madder. Well, you just look like you work here. It's not my fault you're too dumb to correct people. To be honest, that hurt my feelings a little, but I realized I had a superpower no employee at that store did. The ability to walk away from angry customers. So I did. Ignoring someone never felt so good. I think she hunted down a manager and started complaining to them, but I'm not sure how she managed to identify one in the first place. A bit anticlimactic, yeah, but getting to ignore a mean customer at my actual job is my biggest fantasy, and this was the closest I've ever gotten to fulfilling it. The title was actually amusing because the lady that told her off is actually probably one of the dumbest people on the planet. Just because somebody knows a store well, even if it's been reorganized lately and they're willing to help people, doesn't mean that they work there. They could just be nice people. And these people who go off on them because they don't know where something is and they don't work there, just crazy people. Crazy, crazy people. Our last story is by Cananesis14. Diplomatic problem. Hey there, I will start with the usual. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I'm a diplomat from a third world country, recently sent on mission to the consulate in LA. I don't want to toot my horn so much, but I speak Spanish, English, Japanese, and Mandarin. This clear sky day, I was in a store to get some groceries for dinner, and this Asian lady looked worried and kind of in need of help, so I obviously approached her. She was Japanese and a tourist and was looking for some ingredients to make gyoza. I don't know if I'm saying that right. As I make gyoza myself, I knew where the minced meat and the gyoza sheets were, and kindly showed her the way while talking in Japanese. She thanked me and went on her way. Well, enters Ken. I was dressed in my work attire, without the jacket, and Ken thought I worked there as a manager. He came yelling at me, and this is the conversation. Ken: Hey you! Your employee was extremely rude to me and refused to serve me. Do something about it. Me: I'm sorry, sir, but I don't work here. Ken: Yes, you do. You are the manager. I saw you help that woman over there. Do your effing job now and fire that lazy racial slur right now. Me: I don't work here, and please calm down. Ken: Don't tell me to calm down. The racial slur he's using is a Mexican racial slur. You are all the same lazy mother effers. Me: First of all, I'm not Mexican. Second, Ken: I don't want to hear it. Either you do your job or else. At his raised voice, an actual employee came in with some police officers because the guy whom Ken harassed before was not an employee either and reported it to the cashier, and the police were called. Police 1. Excuse me, sir, what's happening here? Ken: Nothing, officer. These lazy people are just not doing their job and I'm complaining. Police 2. Are you a manager? Me: No, sir, I'm a diplomat working at the consulate of my country. Here is my diplomatic ID. Ken: You? A diplomat? You told me you were the manager here. Me: I repeatedly told you that I don't work here. Employee: Officers, we just want him, Ken, out of the store. What? Why? This is the Mexican that lied to me and made me angry. Me: Officer, I just want to finish my shopping and get going. Now I walked a few meters away from Ken and Police 1 because his ranting wasn't allowing me to talk with the officer. As you may have understood, I think the man mistook 2 people as employees because of race. I don't want to have anything to do with him. May I go? Police 2. Sure, you may go. I went to buy my dinner ingredients, and I think Ken got banned from the store. A few days later, there was a phone call to the consulate from the police to follow up, and that was that. I was surprised how someone could be this dense after repeating that I did not work there, and continued on the same course. At least I will keep on helping if I can, and next time, if there is a next time, I will just talk in Japanese or Mandarin and pretend not to understand. This is yet another sign of mental illness in the country. People think you're lying to them every chance. I can't imagine a situation where an employee would actually tell you, no, I don't work here, just to avoid helping you. So these people, they have to be losing their minds a bit to say, you work here. Yes, I saw you helping somebody else. You work here. Don't lie to me. It's like I think some of these people just want to fight. I don't understand. Today's episode has come to a close. Until we meet again, have a sweet day.